Hello, I'm Phil Shapiro, Chairman of the Board of Selectmen. I live at 159 Mill Street, and I've been a resident of Westwood for 37 years. We are doing this video to tell you about our town meeting on May 6th at 7:30 at the high school gymnasium. I'd like to encourage you to attend. I've been to probably 37 town meetings at this point, not including special town meetings. And there's always something interesting, and you get to see friends and neighbors. I'm also here representing the Board of Selectmen and my fellow selectmen, Pat Ahern and Nancy Hyde. The three of us have worked long and hard with the other boards and commissions in the town, and we are the ones who have approved the mitigation agreement that will be discussed at town meeting on May 6th. Many of the articles have come from the planning board, and we have had a number of joint meetings and meetings where we have attended planning board meetings in support of articles and or elements of the plan, and other meetings where the planning board members have attended selectmen meetings. So this has been a joint effort by the selectmen, the planning board, and the Finance Commission to bring forward a plan that works for the town. The school committee has also been intimately involved and gone through multiple presentations by the developer and town staff. At that meeting, we will be considering articles that would allow us to have 130 acres at University Avenue developed for multiple use right at the train station, a project that has been planned for 8 years and is now finally coming to fruition. We have a plan that the selectmen, the planning board, the school committee are all supporting, and the Finance Commission. And the plan would have mixed use housing, start off with Wegmans and Target for retail, restaurants, ultimately also an assisted living facility, and office space, a hotel, and other amenities for the town and our visitors and folks that will be welcoming to town. There's been a mitigation package to help the town provide services as this project is being built. There will be payments to the town for traffic mitigation, which will happen whether or not this project creates any new traffic. There will also be mitigation for our schools that would help us build additional classrooms should they be necessary, and a new playing field at the Deerfield School, and additional money for public safety. So we have negotiated this agreement to allow the town to take best advantage of these new facilities. The development would obviously have some additional cost to town, but would have a tremendous net positive impact on our financial situation for generations. And it's a project that will allow the town, the neighbors to the project, and the towns in the region to benefit from a new set of services and opportunities that will be provided in this smart growth project right at the train station at Route 128. The project has changed pretty dramatically from the project that was before the town 4 years ago. One of the changes is the size. It's about half the size that the prior project was. So this project would be 2.2 million square feet. The prior project was 4.5 million square feet. We also have a different developer. So New England Development, Easton Development, and National Development have partnered in this. Cabot, and Forbes, the prior developer, is no longer involved. The developer has been working with the state in order to ensure that transportation improvements are made at both 128 and Route 95. And the mitigation plan for Canton and Everett Street would include about $2.3 million of improvements that would encourage traffic to slow down. It would narrow the street. It would put in different elements at stop signs, and it would create islands and other infrastructure that would slow the traffic down, encourage people to stay on Route 95 and Route 128. That's something that the developers have committed to regardless of what their project does as far as traffic impacts. In Westwood, we have a split tax rate, so commercial and industrial development pay a higher rate per thousand in value than residents do. So it's very important for us to continue to have a vibrant commercial and industrial sector in Westwood, and that has been a tremendous challenge over the last 20 years. This facility used to be an old industrial facility, fairly low values. This will provide additional support to our tax base as a whole, and also particularly support to the commercial and industrial portion of our tax base, which is important if we want to keep residential tax rates down. So that's a primary benefit of this development, particularly the commercial industrial pieces of this development. Another thing is that anyone who has driven down University Avenue in the last 3 years realizes that it's an eyesore, it's dangerous, and it's an area that ultimately is going to have to be cleaned up one way or the other with this development or not. This development is our first and best opportunity for that cleanup to make it something that the town's proud of rather than an eyesore. There'll also be transportation improvements that we'll all get to enjoy whenever we're on Route 95 and Route 128 as a result of this, and anyone who commutes to the train station or otherwise would be able to have better access and egress after this project's completed. The other thing is this is 130 acres, and the full park in Westwood, Dedham, Canton, and Norwood is well over 200 acres. And if you go out over across Canton Street into the Norwood area, hundreds and hundreds of acres. And the uses of those areas are all going to be improved for all 4 communities. So there will be additional development opportunities and additional employment opportunities, additional shopping opportunities, recreation opportunities for the town, well beyond this 130 acres. So this will become a 3rd town center for Westwood, in addition to the 109 area and Islington. The articles at town meeting on Monday, May 6th will include something called I-Cubed, which allows the developer to access state funds for their infrastructure needs to build roads and water and sewer connections, electric connections. It's paid for by the additional, it's a borrowing that would be paid for by the additional tax revenue generated for the state of Massachusetts by this project. There will be no cost in that to the town of Westwood. There's also going to be a very small tax increment financing agreement that would allow them to access state and federal funds. And there are zoning articles that Jack Wiggin, the chairman of the planning board, will be addressing. This is a town meeting vote, therefore, in order to vote and be counted, someone must be in attendance, have signed in and be in attendance at the high school on Monday night, May 6th. There's no ability to vote on an absentee basis or otherwise be counted in this series of decisions by the town. This meeting will start at 7:30 on Monday, May 6th at the high school gym, and we need at a minimum of 175 registered voters in order to proceed, If we don't get those voters, the whole town meeting would be delayed. So it's very important to be there on Monday, May 6th at 7:30 at the high school gymnasium. We think that this is a project that has been well aired. There have been dozens of town and selectmen, planning board, school committee, finance commission meetings on this subject. Many questions have been asked, many questions have been answered. We think that this is an opportunity for people to come, and if you haven't been involved, ask your questions at town meeting. If you have been involved, come and listen to the discussion and make up your mind. It's a watershed moment for Westwood. It provides a project that will be in the town for generations, and the project has changed fairly dramatically over the last 8 months since it was originally proposed last summer, and I believe those changes are for the better. There will be the mitigation that I spoke of will be incorporated, has been incorporated by a written agreement between the selectmen and the developers. We also have downsized the housing portion in the first phase, and we will meet all of our affordable housing needs for a generation if this goes through as planned, and therefore the town would not be subject to an unfriendly 40B development, which might put an affordable housing development in a place or of a size that the town is not comfortable with. This allows us to be a full participant, and it's what's considered a friendly 40B development. And also a great option, I think, for housing for folks in the town, particularly younger folks starting out, and people who want to remain in town but don't want to keep their house. So we hope it's really going to provide some additional options for Westwood residents, and that those will include assisted living right near the train station, which would be a great asset as well for current and new residents of Westwood. In 1990, Westwood established a Business Development Advisory Board in order to try to deal with a deteriorating commercial and industrial tax base. And for the last 23 years, the town has been working and become much more friendly to commercial and industrial development. So we've had some on the Route 109 corridor, some in Islington, and also along Route 1 and other areas where we've worked with developers, understood their issues, and been able to bring town staff and resources into play to help them, and engage with the state and federal governments to improve the tax base in Westwood, and also the amenities that are available to Westwood residents. So this is really the culmination of a very long process. This did not happen by accident. Westwood has become very user-friendly as far as our ability to work with a developer for a project that benefits the developer and benefits the town. And town residents have taken advantage of that by being full participants in that process. And I believe that Canton, Forbes, and Everett Street residents would testify to that today, because there's going to be $2.3 million in traffic improvements as a result of this project before it generates a single additional car trip. So we've done this, but we've done it in a way that involves neighbors and involves town residents, engages them in the pros and cons on any given project. And there have been a number of them that have been successful across the town, and this is sort of the last frontier for Westwood as far as economic development is concerned. And we hope that this project successfully reuses a very, very distressed area of the town. The first phase of this project will be 600,000 feet of retail space, primarily Wegmans and Target, and it will be a fair distance from the train station. There'll also be 350 units of housing that will be fairly close to the train station, and 18 acres of parks that are developed in conjunction with those two vertical developments. Future phases will include 350,000 square feet of office space, 70,000 square feet of village retail space, and up to 100 units of assisted living and memory care, 160-room hotel, and a maximum of 300 additional residential units. At this point, residential units are rental, but in the future some of them could move to condominium units if the market is more attractive for those units than for rental. Some people have asked why this development has to include any housing, and the developer in their presentation has made it clear that housing is necessary economically to provide revenue streams for the overall project development and the upgrading of the neighborhood. So there's a need to ensure that this project has housing of the type and number that's mostly desired by the town. So that is primarily or in the first phase, all 1 and 2 bedroom apartments. This is a project that is likely not to add dramatically to the school population. If it does, there's mitigation in the agreement for the town, and we feel comfortable that either there won't be a lot of students added to the schools, or that any impacts are covered by the mitigation agreement should there be a miscalculation. Housing was always a part of the project. It was a part of the original development 5 or 6 years ago, and it's a piece that will be there on a scaled down basis in phase 1 for 350 apartment, 1 and 2 bedroom apartment units close to the train station. Another is the housing piece of this project is a major element of what attracted the state to the project and has led them to commit to substantial transportation improvement projects, both from Route 128 and 95. So I'd like to thank you for watching this video. I appreciate your spending time coming up to speed on our development at University Station. It is going to be discussed and voted on May 6th at 7:30 at the high school gymnasium. And in order to participate, as we've said before, you have to be there. We need a 2/3. This project needs a 2/3 vote in order to pass all of the provisions that have been discussed today. I very much appreciate Westcat and Adam Long's assistance in this, and I look forward to seeing you at the high school Monday, May 6th at 7:30 p.m. Thank you very much.
Good.
Okay?
Yep. Can I get one favor from you?
Sure.
Can I just get a classic ESPN Sports Center? This is, Selectman Phil Shapiro, and you're watching Westcat.
Sure.
Trying to collect a
Okay.
bunch of those. It'd be fun to use.
Sure. This is Selectman Phil Shapiro, and welcome to Westcat.
Could you do you're watching Westcat too?
Okay. This is Selectman Phil Shapiro. You're watching Westcat. Welcome to Westcat.